Live from Albany, New York, the Knickerbocker Arena, it's the Marine Midland MAAC Championships. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Crispino. I'll be joined this afternoon and tonight by Barry Landers, Mimi Griffin, and, of course, Glenn Consor, our analyst for these games, as we cover the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and their postseason tournament. At the end of this rainbow, a trip to the NCAA tournament for the champion. And who knows, should Iona not win this tournament, they are the #1 seed, they too may have a shot at the NCAA tournament. Last year, this conference got 2 bids to the big dance, and that's, of course, what they'll hope for again beginning today and, of course, ending on Monday with the championship games. And we have Iona, the #1 seed, and Siena, the #8 seed, to begin the day. And we'll follow that with Loyola and Canisius, the 4 and 5 seeds. So that's the top half of the bracket. And then in the evening sessions, Fairfield takes on St. Peter's. Fairfield, of course, the regular season co-champions. Then Manhattan will play Niagara. There are a number of interesting stories that will be developing today. There have been some injuries to report on. We'll talk about that, of course, with Glenn Consor, what exactly that means to the individual teams. One thing you can be sure of, there is always going to be a surprise or two in this tournament. We'll be back and we'll talk about the potential of that and more when we return on the MAAC Television Network. We're at the Knickerbocker in Albany. Stay with us. We're back for the Marine Midland MAAC quarterfinals, and the opening men's game of the day is the Siena Saints, a record of 5-21. The Gales of Iona at 20-6. We're here in the Knickerbocker Arena, Albany, New York, the capital of the state of New York. And hi, everybody. Mike Crispino, along with Glenn Consor, will be joining me for most of the men's games. And we're not kidding this time. Anybody could win the tournament, except maybe the guys practicing behind us.
The Siena Saints, and I think that's a good point.
I hope they didn't hear us.
I don't think so either, but I think that's what makes really the MAAC so special this year, is that teams 1 through 7, there's really no surprises. The only true surprise in the way of an upset in going to the final 64 would be Siena. And I think the reality is that balance and parity equals opportunity, so teams 1 through 7 can get to that big dance.
And speaking of Siena, of course, this is their home territory. In years past, they've jammed the place with their fans, and with the program down a little, do you think that will be as much a factor in the opening game?
Well, I think that Siena happens to be due for a victory. It would obviously be a very big upset, Mike, if they can knock off Iona. But what they need to do right now is that they need to play intense basketball, and they have been playing very hard basketball and intense basketball. They've just been losing games. They're an inexperienced team, not a very athletic team, but one of the things they need to do is use the Fairfield game when Fairfield beat Iona as a blueprint. Take Iona down deep into the 35-second clock, use the clock a little bit, force them to play defense, don't give them opportunities on defense, and most importantly, make some outside shots.
And obviously, you're a big fan of the underdog. You'd like to see Siena advance. I know Iona, really things have kind of turned around between those two programs. Siena had been dominant in this league over the past few years, and now they're down a little. Iona comes back, and they would like to get to the big dance. And we also have Loyola and Canisius. The 4-5 game might be the closest game of the day. These two teams finished about the same in the conference. And as you look at those two teams, you see a Loyola team that's kind of on the rise as the season comes to an end. Canisius a little banged up.
Well, I think obviously Barley has a broken finger, and I think what he's going to try to do is try to play maybe the first couple of minutes of the game. And the problem is that what he did is he broke his bone in his thumb, and there's a pin in his thumb. If he cannot catch the ball and shoot the ball, they're going to take him out right away and just play with the substitutes. And obviously, player of the conference, player of the year in the MAAC conference this year, it greatly affects Canisius' chance to win this tournament. And Loyola, on the other hand, I think Brian Ellerby has done a terrific job in recruiting, bringing in players like Mike Powell, who was another candidate for the MAAC player of the year, doing a tremendous job.
And they play great defense, too, the Greyhounds of Loyola. Now, tonight, Manhattan plays a Niagara team that loves to go to the boards, and should they do that, they have a chance to beat Manhattan. And we have a little injury update there, too. We just don't know if Manhattan will have the full complement of players as they come into this opening game.
Well, right before we came on, I had a chance to talk to Brian Cousins, who's Fran Fraschiller's assistant coach at Manhattan. He said Jason Hoover, who's one of the top big guys in this league, and he's not really a big guy, he's really 6'5", but he pounds the glass. He is not going to play this game, and that greatly affects the complexion of Manhattan's team, but expect a guy by the name of Travis Lyons to really step up his game a notch. He's a very similar player to Hoover, might even be a little bit more versatile on the perimeter than Hoover is. I still think Manhattan is the team to stop in this tournament in the way of chemistry right now.
Despite the fact they lost their entire backcourt, they have bounced back and played very well. I think Fran Fraschiller is doing it with mirrors in some ways. He doesn't have a lot of options on his bench. He doesn't have a lot of depth in this this injury, this latest problem, is going to be a problem for them. And quickly, Fairfield and their matchup tonight with St. Peter's. Defending champions, is there something to be said for that?
Well, I think Fairfield is playing great basketball right now. They're running an offense tremendously. They're running you down to the 35-second clock. More importantly, they're making outside shots.
All right, we'll be back with more. This is the MAAC Television Network. Again, we're in the Knickerbocker Arena. Stay with us.
Welcome to Loyola College in Maryland. Here at Loyola, we seek to educate the whole person, mind, body, and spirit.
Loyola believes in excellence, academic excellence and athletic excellence. At Loyola, it takes more than just being an athlete to make it.
I think the athletics makes you more focused on your academics.
And so here at Loyola, I find a good balance between athletics and academics.
I think I've learned a lot from playing lacrosse. You prioritize your work. You feel good about yourself.
I'm taken away from that, the feeling that you can accomplish things.
Walking through campus, I mean, obviously parents are happy if they have one daughter or son here. People get to know you. Next year, a freshman comes in from the same family.
Students come to Loyola because they want the skills that will help them make a good living. We give them the skills that will help them to make a good life.
Siena Saints and Iona Gales getting set to go in our opening men's quarterfinal game here this afternoon. I'm Barry Landers, and welcome back to the Knickerbocker Arena. This is the first of 4 men's quarterfinal games. Iona certainly the big favorite in this game. Twice they've played this year. The last time Siena gave them all they could handle here in the Albany area. Jim Sekretarski could be a key. The last time they played, he had a big game, hitting a lot of threes. Last year, he set a record with 9 3-pointers against Iona, scoring 36 points. But Siena Saints have been inconsistent this year. They'll need to play better a full 40 minutes to beat a very talented Iona club, which has struggled a little bit at late, losing their last game to Fairfield. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Get set for MAAC basketball on the MAAC Television Network.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked 3rd in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
Formidable Siena Saints have a shot at redemption this weekend. It must begin with better accuracy from the field than in their 2 previous losses to their first-round opponents. Sharpshooter Jim Sekretarski could be the key. One of the league's best three-point artists is dangerous outside the arc. Iona's Tim Welsh understands taking an opponent lightly can cause pain and heartache. The Gales slammed their way back to the top of the MAAC with 10 conference wins and a 20-victory campaign. Mindaugas Tyminska spearheads the league's most potent offense, along with Danish dandy Mikkel Larsen. Iona meets Siena next. It's MAAC Madness, it's March, and it's basketball time here at the Knickerbocker Arena. The Marine Midland MAAC Tournament, the opening men's quarterfinal game, the Saints of Siena against the Gales of Iona. Well, hi everyone, I'm Barry Landers, and welcome to the first of 4 men's telecasts. It should be a terrific tournament. The odds makers, so to say, that any one of 7 of the 8 teams can win. Perhaps the only real long shot, the Siena Saints, as they try to battle a very talented Iona club, which has had a terrific season under first-year coach Timmy Welsh.
The Saints struggle to score points, and we'll have an opportunity a little bit later to take a look right now at the brackets. Iona, of course, seeded number 1, and they will take on the Siena Saints. Loyola and Canisius also in this bracket. That should be a very interesting game. We'll have that coming up right after this. Loyola without their star, the player of the year, Darryl Barley, out with an injury, or rather Canisius star out with an injury. And in the second bracket, you see Fairfield and St. Peter's, Manhattan and Niagara. Manhattan certainly one of the hot clubs coming on with a late rush, having won 7 in a row. Well, standing by to give you more on this afternoon's game, let's go to Mike Crispino and Glenn Conser.
Thanks very much, Barry Landers. We're standing here about midcourt. That's where we have the best seat in the house with my partners, Glenn Consor, who has promised to pass me the ball all afternoon long while I'm open. Is that right?
Only when you get open. You have to move without the basket.
You know I'm open because I don't do anything else but try to get open. Let's begin by talking about the Siena Saints, a team that comes in 5-21. They're saddled with their longest losing streak in a long time. Most losses in school history, 21. However, they've been close lately. A couple of overtime losses, a couple other close ones. So they've got a shot if a guy like Jeff Walker has a great day.
Well, there's been no doubt that Siena does a nice job hitting outside shots. But Walker is the key really inside. He's the type of guy that can really dominate this game. He's got good low post moves. But more importantly, he's going to have to do a job on guys like Larson and Timinskis on the backboards, box them out, and then pitch it and go and get it out to the guards.
Iona is the regular season co-champion. They've got some big people. Mikkel Larson's one. Mindaugas Timinskis is the other, and I think Tim Welsh should be looking for a big game from him as well.
Mindaugas Timinskis, inconsistent going into the second half of the season. He needs a big game for him, mostly from the floor. He's got to make some good decisions in his half-court offense, and more importantly, stick it from the outside.
And if you're stuck on the pronunciation of the last name at home, you can call him Tim. Mindaugas Timinskis, Iona's Gales, coming up next against the Saints of Siena.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. A 6'5" senior guard from Linden, New Jersey.
All right. Can you guys cut the effects mics just a little in my headset? All right. Just bring them down a little bit. Thank you. Is that mine? Oh, can you just grab that big soda there? Thanks.
Get the.
What do you need? The little one? The little one too. No, we're just talking out here. We're talking amongst ourselves, Mike. All right, now we'll be following your instructions for the next 2 hours. So don't go awry now. Here we go. Yeah. I lost my damn notes.
Fans Knickerbocker Arena and the MAAC pay special thanks to Marine Midland Bank for its continued support of the MAAC basketball tournament. The bank's generosity helps make our championship weekend a special event.
Back at the Knickerbocker Arena, Mike Crispino and Glenn Consor, and here they go. 8 teams, all looking for a shot at the NCAA tournament. It's March. Madness is set in. And if Siena should pull off an upset here, I would believe this area would go mad tonight. There's Bob Byer, second year. He goes with Walker, Ruzinski, Freeney, and Sekretarski are the guards, and they can shoot it from outside that arc.
Mike, one of the keys could be a guy by the name of Andy Tisch coming off the bench. They're going to need his outside shooting. There you see the starting lineup for Iona.
Tim Timinskis and Brian Matthew will be up front for Tim Welsh. Mikkel Larson, Greg Barr, Rod Zamor in the backcourt. For Tim Welsh, he's in his second year, and he really picked up when his dad had to step down last year, and he's had great success, and he's earned himself a contract extension. Mark McDonald, Bob Diaz, Mark DiStola will be the officials in our opening men's game of the afternoon. Be with you all day, night, and then tomorrow night to reach the final game on Monday.
So every time of year, it's final basketball, Mike. I love it.
So you are an afternoon guy and a night guy. You do it all.
I can do this 24 hours a day.
Big shot taken by Iona. The rebound.
Second chance opportunity. Siena's going to have to do a better job and focus their efforts on defending the backboard. And Iona is going to have to create some opportunities with tough man to man.
Go down low. The pass deflected. Jeff Bazinski had a handle on it, but Greg Barr stepped in to knock it loose. Inbound, the Saints wearing their all in yellow. Here's the jump shot off the foot of the rim and getting the bounce nicely, Jeff Walker.
Shooters, bounce, shooters touch by Walker. Do a little dance on the rim. Siena's game plan is to really use that Fairfield game as a blueprint. Work the clock a little bit, keep Iona down on their defensive stance. Don't rush, have some patience, and don't turn it over.
They're starting already with a 2-syllable word. It was a great night for Fairfield against Iona to take half of the championship. Nickel Larson is tied up on the way up.
Mike, one of my goals this telecast is to really keep it easy for you. I'm going to stay away from words like parity in the conference. I'm going to use instead words like balance.
That's good. That's good. I'm already figuring it out.
Larson just trying to take it in. Gets bumped and fouled.
Melvin Freeney threw it away as Siena tried to work the baseline. Saints have had a tough year, 5-21. Bob Byer was 8-19 in his opening year, replacing Mike Dean. Got to be difficult to keep a team up after losing 14 in a row. What does he tell them?
Well, I think one of the things that he needs to tell them is that they have been playing intense basketball, and they have been playing hard. And maybe, hey guys, maybe it's our turn. Maybe we're due for the upset. There's always that chance, Mike.
There's a law of averages do come into play. After all, that's why they play the games. In the corner for the jumper, and knocking it down, Jeff Brzezinski, the junior from Buffalo, and a 5-2 Siena lead.
And Mike Brzezinski can play music with his jumper. You got to get a hand in his face and know where he is at all times. He's a spot-up shooter. Very similar to the other shooters on Siena's team. That's the thing about Siena. One of the reasons they're easy to guard is that they're a bunch of spot-up shooters. The key is to try to make them put the ball on the floor and create off the dribble. As the ball goes swung around the perimeter, ball takes it to the baseline, just gets a little bump. Can't play defense with your hips. You got to do it with your legs.
The inbounds is Indagas Tominskis wearing the 41. Greg Barr wearing the 4. Ryan Matthew, Rodson Moore has it now. Bounces it down to Nickel Larson. Our move inside, left-handed hook. Nicely done.
Especially this game where Siena might be weak. Is in the low post. Larson has to exploit it.
And a nifty move inside.
That gets exploited.
Greg Walkenfennick has a basket. Back the other way. Iona's called for an offensive foul.
You know Bob Byer said to his team that transition defense is going to be important. Tim Ross saying, hey, let's get some easy baskets off our defense and try to score in transition. And there's the offensive foul just stepping in as the player's in the air. Good call by the official, one that makes Bob Byer happy.
One thing that is great about postseason tournaments, you can redeem an entire season if you have a good weekend. So 3 victories, and who knows? Siena could be the biggest upset entrant to the NCAA tournament in a long, long time.
Wins right now, I think you're right.
Fourth quick shot that time by Melvin Freeney, and the rebound to Tominskis. Bounces it down on the run, and now gets it back. Goes to Nickel Larson. Thought about shooting it. Finds a man inside. Turnaround doesn't go. Back on the board, Greg Barr. Siena with the rebound. Number 1, Freeney with the bounce pass. Jumper in the corner. And nailing it, Sekretarski. It's good for 3. The 10-4 Siena lead.
Smelling upset in the air right now, Mike. When Sekretarski runs the floor and Siena can get him the ball, he's automatic in transition.
Larson with a power move. Count it, he'll go to the line. That's the way to answer. Nickel Larson, the senior from Denmark, used his height advantage here.
Nice little pump fake, up and under move by Larson. Gets Walker up in the air, and then uses his body to shield the ball as he goes up strong. And that's going to be their mainstay this game, getting the ball to Larson on the blocks, and Matthew could also do it in the low post. It's a violation.
Nickel Larson completes the 3-point play, and I like the way he regained his balance on that drive. Larson's got 5 of Iona's first 7. They trail 10-7. Granada's entered the game for Siena wearing a jump hook. Zipperkowski's shot is blocked. 2 in a row on the game.
This is getting good. Block shot, dunk attempt. Exciting. Oh, why Muzinski's trying to dunk on Larson, though. Talking 6'6", going up against 6'10".
Well, he was sky high, emotional. That's what it was. But those are the two most difficult shots to block, a dunk and a three-pointer. Great ball. Second effort. The senior from Camden, and Iona has cut the lead to 10-9. They had led 10-4 early.
So Siena has to maintain this intensity on offense and on defense. They can make this a game despite only 5 wins for the season.
Saints have had great success in the MAAC for at least 2 years. Up on the drive. Missed it off the front end. Larson has it. Kicks it out. On the run. Kavitskas nice fake. Under pressure. Tough shot.
Dave Atwell stepped in on the weak side. Didn't matter. Kavitskas tough shot.
Iona has the lead now 11-10. We'll be back. Just underway. Iona by 1 from the Knickerbocker in Albany.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked 3rd in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
This game is brought to you in part by Pepsi-Cola. Nothing else is a Pepsi. Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. And New York Lottery. Play New York Lotto because twice a week someone could win millions of dollars. Hey, you never know. A look at the Saints cheerleaders, and they're all in town. The MAAC has taken over the state capitol. Up from New Rochelle, Tim Welsh. A record of 20-6, 10-4 in the conference. Points in the paint, Iona's dominated the area 10-2, and I think my student analyst, Glenn Russell, was on earlier in the game. Larson now is giving Iona a 3-point lead. Whistle for some contact. Greg Deaver has just entered the game. Has called for his first. Deaver, the senior out of Monroe, New York. Just under 14 minutes remaining to be played here in the first half. Mike Crispino along with Glenn Consor, and so far Iona's been able to dominate the game. Loose ball, Iona has it. Deaver dishes off to Tominskis. And the ball stripped on the baseline. Down they go. Siena has it.
And that's what Siena has to do when the ball goes to the low post. Go in and dig it out. Get your shovels and dig it out.
Like working the corners as the Albany River Rats do, and this is their home arena.
Great name, is it? River Rats.
I wouldn't want to be a visitor up against the River Rats. Turnaround hook shot goes in and out. Jeff Walker is going to be whistled.
See, Walker has to make those shots. Siena doesn't have that many low post guys. It's actually Walker, Fennig, Atwell, and Walker. If he starts to become a potent inside player for Siena, that's going to open up the outside for the shooters in Sekretarski and Tisch, who just came in the game.
Talking with Bob Meyer before the game as Greg Marr's shot goes off the back of the rim. Tominskis runs it down. He thought they'd try to run. They tried to run and push it, get some easier shots. That would open up the outside shooting. Nico Larson is on fire early. 7 for him.
How about Larson coming in making a statement? Hey, you take a step off me, I'm going to knock down that shot. I'm not only inside, but outside as well.
Siena's got to slow the momentum. Iona's going on a 9-0 run in the last 3:45. We'll be back to Albany after these words.
The MAAC is back. Don't miss one of the nation's most exciting and surprising postseason tournaments as the Marine Midland Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Tournament returns to Albany's Knickerbocker Arena March the 1st through the 4th. Last year, Manhattan and St. Peter's both went to the big dance as the MAAC earned 2 NCAA berths. For the best seats in the house, don't delay. Tickets are available at the Knickerbocker Arena box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or buy a charge by phone at 518-476-1000. MAAC basketball is back March the 1st through the 4th. They'll win you over.
Refreshing pace of all sport, the game will never be the same. We have another winner, Price Chopper three-point field goal located in section 106, row Q.
The first of our MAAC quarterfinals in the postseason tournament here at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, and a 5-point lead for Iona on the strength of a 9-0 run. This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and Host Communications may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and host.
You got to look at Mikularsson really dominating this game. Early portion of this game, that you see it right there, 9 quick points. Doing it from the outside, doing it from the inside.
I don't recall seeing him shoot too many jump shots from where he shot the most recent field goal.
He can make those shots on the elbow. He's got good form. He just needs a little bit of time to get into the rhythm of his shot.
Iona, after an early sluggish start, down 10-4, has rebounded to lead 14-10. Traveling violation is called. The one move that officials seem to be tagging more frequently this year.
Getting into your move, Tim Welsh working the sidelines, but you're right, Mike. So many officials making that call, and it's a good call. So many guys get into and rush their shot. Getting into their move without putting it on the floor, picking up their pivot foot, and that's where the walk is.
Number 34, Brandon Fields, has checked in for Bob Byer and Siena. So has Andy Tisch, wearing number 11. And the defense by Greg Marr. Shot clock at 13 seconds now for Siena. Moore checks back in now for Tim Welsh. Greg Marr will take a seat next to Jeff Ruland, who you saw. A familiar face to Iona fans, certainly, and fans of the NBA. Little turnaround, it wouldn't go, but the rebound taken off by Siena. Pull-up jump shot off to the rim. Rebound again by the Saints. Straight to the goal. Rejected, and Deaver has it. It's 3-on-3, and they'll reset. So interior defense by Iona, very tough. Jason Bell goes up. And he went into the teeth of the defense of Brandon Fields and was able to draw the foul.
Went into the teeth of Brandon Fields as well. Not a happy camper fan right there. Look at the defense by Fields. Playing with his chest, standing straight up. And Bell just kind of went right into his arms, and Bob Byer not happy with that call, but I think he's got to be happy with the way his team is staying in this game so far, not really throwing in the towel, which they very well could have, but they're coming out with good intensity, playing tough basketball, and that's the way they have to play. They have to play intense basketball to stay in ball games. Not an overly athletic team, and I think that's what makes this day so special. If there's any upset, it's going to be right here, Mike, in this game. So you folks that are going to be with us the majority of the day, no real upsets, just pure parity, no surprises, just good basketball.
Long jumper connects from Micah Akbar.
Micah Akbar could shoot the basketball. He was the rookie of the week once this season. Displaying outside shooting.
Steal now for Freeney. Wilson cuts him off. They reset. Freeney's got in the corner, shooting from there. This time, the contest for the ball. It's knocked out of bounds by Siena. 3 of their first 5 field goals have been for 3 points. Mindaugas Tominskis now checking back in for Tim Welsh, the junior from Lithuania. 5 minutes to take this 2-point lead.
That's good spacing by Iona. Gave Larson lots of room to operate. Faded away. I thought he should have drop stepped to get fouled. Go to the line.
They run, they shoot, they hit. Micah Akbar now with a couple of 3 balls, and the lead is Siena's by 1. Larson goes down in some trouble.
Look at that hustle by Walker-Fennig on the floor, diving with his knees on the ground. It's good hustle.
So a scrambling Saints team of Siena has a 1-point lead midway through the first.
There's Walker-Fennig. He was on the floor, still reaching. Larson took advantage when Walker-Fennig fell, just goes in hard. And there's the foul over the top as Bell had inside position.
Of course, a loss here means the final college game for several seniors, including Mikkel Larson, who's sitting down with Jeff Woolen. Checking back in, David Atwell. Siena by 1, first of 4 quarterfinals. We'll be here with you throughout the day and night. Shot is partially blocked. And Tominskis will go to the line.
Number 11, Andy Tisch.
Andy Tisch is called for it. It's his first.
Tisch comes to help. Reaches in. On the roll. Don't reach with your arms. Go defense with your legs. Not a good foul. Puts Tominskis to the line. And you know, Mike, I do think that Tominskis is the key offensively to this team. I think Bob Byer knows it as well. You can't let him get going because he could, from a physical standpoint, really take over this game. He's got offensive winners, one-on-one moves. He's very good in transition. When his outside shot starts clicking, this Iona team becomes very dangerous.
Contact down here. Illegal screen was set.
How about that foul by Brandon Fields? He lost his balance and was trying to kind of get up from a crouch position, leaning on Tominskis. He gets called for the foul. Look at this. Just leaning on it.
17 fouls on the Saints. We're only midway through the first half.
Bob Byers on the sideline saying, hey, all he's trying to do is get up. How'd that happen?
Tominskis will go to the line. He has 4 points so far. He's got 5. Tim Tominskis, 6'7", junior. Has them both. A 20-point game earlier in the year against Siena. Picked off Jason Bell.
Way too late.
Jason Bell is whistled.
This game's getting physical, Mike. Both teams trying to establish position on the blocks. And you see Bell just kind of toss. Atwell off the blocks, gets called for the foul from behind.
Well, a nifty semi-wrestling move that time by Jason Bell. However, the officials were watching, as is their job.
Especially on those blocks. Everybody's taking a look at how guys are establishing low post position.
Nice dish. Under pressure and making the basket, Jeff Walker. Walker's got 4, and Siena trails by 1. Eisenhower. There's Tominskis here, strong move, missing everything. Siena has the easy rebound.
Shot selection has been hurting Tominskis this season. Not a good shot.
I don't know if that's overconfidence or aggressiveness.
That's all it is. You got to make sure your team touches the basketball, get guys involved with the offense rather than just kind of lean in and shoot.
Zimiskas has all the ability in the world, and oftentimes a player wants to utilize that ability in every aspect of the game and gets a little bit outside the framework maybe of the team.
Well, he's so physical. It kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson, someone that could just kind of go by you in the open court and score at will. He's got to kind of harness his game, and so does Tominskas. Similar type of player in that Tominskas can dominate a basketball game with his physical abilities. Turnovers, Iona.
Great move inside by Greg Barr for his second basket. Barr's got 4. Siena down by just 3. 5-21. The worst season in 4 years of Division I basketball. The Saints of Siena, they dropped 14 in a row. If you do believe in the long averages, nice move inside by Jeff Walker. Got Greg Barr off his feet. You believe that Siena can pull a mega upset here this afternoon.
Well, the way they're playing right now, they're definitely headed in that direction, primarily because they're showing great patience with the spacing on offense, which allows Walker to get the ball. The weak side defense comes to help out. And there's the foul, puts Walker to the line. But what they're doing, Mike, is they're spreading out Iona, making them play defense, getting the ball inside, and believe it or not, Siena is establishing an inside game, which they have not done all season. They're playing good basketball.
Well, the inside game, of course, allows higher percentage shooting. We've got a timeout. 7:51 remaining first half. Iona by just 1. We'll be back with more on the MAAC Television Network.
St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey, believes a student should develop as a whole person. We educate our students through a demanding curriculum informed by values. With more than 3,400 students born in 65 countries, St. Peter's is one of the most international and interesting colleges in the country. As a charter member of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, we are committed to excellence in athletics and integrity in academics. St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey.
Mike Crispino and Glenn Consor, first of 4 quarterfinals at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany. Iona leading by 1. On your next trip to the Capital District for business, pleasure, or the MAAC tournament, if you're planning on heading up here, why not stay at the full-service Omni Hotel? The Omni just 1 block from the Knickerbocker Arena in downtown Albany. For reservations, there is the number, 518-462-6611. So the Saints of Siena coming in as a heavy underdog, playing Tim Welsh and Iona dead even, down by just 1 with 7:51 remaining in the first half.
Well, if I'm Tim Welsh right now, I have to make some adjustments on defense. I think one of the things they need to do is put a little bit more pressure on the perimeter on the guards to try to force Siena to turn the ball over, maybe apply some 3-quarter pressure, maybe some full-court pressure. As you can see, Siena shooting nicely, 41% from the floor. Points in the paint, Iona 14, Siena 4. That's not too bad. Those only 4 points from Siena is not really too bad because they're mostly a perimeter shooting team.
Zimiskas from way downtown. Target. And Siena's ball with a chance to take the lead. These two teams played on the 22nd of February. In Loudonville. Inside, under pressure, missing the shot, but getting the rebound. Missing the layup. Walker again, missed it again. 4 tries, and finally the rebound for Iona. So a missed opportunity by the Saints right there to take the lead.
See all those second chance opportunities, and there were 4 of them. Jeff Rowland, who's been one of the better defensive rebounders I've ever seen, is on the sidelines coaching for Iona. He's basically jumping out of his suit and saying, hey, box out, guys.
And that's no small chore to jump out of a suit that size. I hope he didn't hurt it. Jeff Rowland, one of the real tough guys, one of the real nice guys.
He really is.
When you get to know him, it's one of those guys you look out on the court and say, can't stand him. Great drive for the deuce. And Siena has the lead.
Iona looks a little disjointed on defense. They're not getting back. They're letting Siena run their offense. And now all of a sudden, Mike, we have a crowd that's involved in this game, and this is getting good.
Well, it is home territory. Greg Barr misses, and Walker's got the board.
Only 1 chance for Iona. Siena boxing out.
With every moment they're in this game, a of course, a team like Siena thinks they can win the game despite some great odds. That time a turnover as Walker got a little overzealous.
Obviously, a lot of time left in this game. We've got a whole second half to play, but there's always that mental letdown. When you have beaten the team twice during the season, you might let down a little bit mentally and not play with the intensity that you need to come tournament time, and Iona has to make sure that they don't fall into that trap.
11 for Mikkel Larson on a nifty move. Then the long shot is missed by Narelle Godot. Siena down by 1 as Iona's now going to reset. They'll take their time, take some seconds off the clock. Great ball, good move inside. Foul ball. Narelle Godot was whistled as he tried to make the steal.
Siena's doing a nice job playing perimeter defense. It was an isolation two-man game with the screen up top. With the weak side defense, everybody was there. Not a good foul by Godot. But the weak side defense there, I think Siena's really digging in on defense, making this a ball game.
At the line for the Gales.
You see Jeff Rulin. Every time somebody comes out, they always sit next to Mr. Rulin on the bench for some advice. And if you're a player, you're going to listen. He's been through all the wars in the NBA. Bob Byer working the sideline saying, hey, guys, we have a chance. Keep up the intensity.
Barr has a couple of free throws prior to the game. Bob Byer was watching one of the women's contests in the media room as intensely as you can imagine. I think he was going to take his mark off. Now he's going to try to beat Iona. Just 14 fouls. Number 5, that is. 2 on Deaver. On the inbounds, and Tominskis with a nice deflection. Looked like an NFL defensive back there. Took it away.
Playing that 1-4 offense. 4 guys up high by the foul line, which creates really the lane and baseline opportunities. Nothing there again.
Tominskis got the first step with the help defense by Siena, able to force another air ball. And we, of course, were in Fairfield earlier in the week for the Iona championship game, really of the regular season. And Tominskis was taking some shots like that as well, and the jump shot goes down for Micah Ogburn, who now has 8.
Ogburn coming off the bench, burning Iona from the outside.
Long three-point attempt is missed by Brian Matthew. Looked like he hurt himself on the way down, but Siena throws it away.
Too much gas on that pass from Sekretarski. Got a little anxious. But they're proactive getting the ball, Mike. They're trying to create opportunities on transition. Tim Welsh's team not getting back as he would like them to. But Siena picking up those loose rebounds. You see turnovers, Siena with 9, but they're aggressive turnovers.
And now a little miscommunication by the Gales. You have it. No, I've got it. No, nobody has it, and it's out of bounds. But we have a timeout on the court. Bob Byer and the Siena Saints down by just 1. We'll be back to the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany on the MAAC Television Network. .348 remaining in the first half. Mike Crispino along with Glenn Consor, and that is the Iona Gale that's being regaled there in the front row. I don't know, is he enjoying himself or not?
I think right now he's a little worried. That's why he's laying down right now. He doesn't believe what he sees, and I think you got to credit Siena for doing a great job on the boards. Look at the bench scoring as well. Iona getting donuts from the bench. little powdered donuts, in fact. But Siena not only doing it from the bench, Mike, but they're also doing it on the rebounds. Right now, they're out rebounding Iona 16 to 13, and that's been the issue this game. No second chance opportunities for Iona. Only one shot at the basket by Iona. Siena controlling the boards, and they're a smaller team.
Well, I've said many times before, it starts in the defensive end. And I'm not sure if Iona is committing enough energy on that end at this point. Maybe they've taken Siena a little lightly, and you can't blame them. 5-21, 14 straight losses. I personally would be very worried playing a team that lost 14 in a row.
Pressure's on Iona. A lot of people feel and have felt that Siena has played tough basketball all season. And what they're doing, this is not the time when the dude gets done as Walker gets it done.
Jeff Walker with 8. He ended up in front of the Iona bench, and again, the Siena crowd comes to life. Great ball, allowed to drive down the lane. Barr's got 8. Little breakdown to Siena defense that time, and Iona has the lead back.
Nice isolation though by Iona. The court is spread wide, not allowing the weak side defense to get there. And we're going to work the offensive boards. Like it's 2 or 3 shots at the glass. They get lots of chances.
And you can see the energy in the legs of the Saints. The offensive board gets you pumped.
It certainly does. And also is a frustrating sign when the rebound comes off the glass and 35 more seconds goes back on the clock. You got to sit down in your defensive stance a little longer than you'd like to.
Good patience. Walker turning around. And the loose ball taken by Iona, running by Matthew. Gerard Zamora tries to go baseline. Good help defense. The tip goes back up and in. Brian Matthew, opportunistic, has his first deuce of the afternoon and a 3-point lead for the Gales. Kotarski to shoot, missed it. Yellow jerseys flying, but blocked by Zamora.
Hey, right now Siena's just outworking Iona on the boards. It's pure and simple. They got their work boots on. They got their laces tied up nice and high. Blue collars are up, Mike, and they're going to work.
That kind of effort often adds up to results. Nickel Larson off a pick.
Sweet.
Larson has led the way. 13 for Nickel Larson, who's averaging 12 a game in his senior season, after averaging 17 in both his sophomore and junior years. Tim Welsh, as he talks to the Iona Gales, the winner of this game will play the winner of the second game of the afternoon, Loyola and Canisius, who finished 4-5 in the league. You can see Welsh at 20-6 overall, 25-11 is his career mark. Took over last year out of Potsdam in 1984. Almost 70% winning percentage.
Well, Larson coming off the screen, squaring his body up right on that elbow. Good form. Defense there too late. And that's a nicely executed play by Iona, as Larson showing he's not just the inside threat.
Difference in the game so far. The second chance points by Iona. Siena's kept it alive on the board, but haven't been able to complete the plays. It's a 5-point lead, long jump shot.
And you know what? Barr played great defense. He was right in his face.
Micah Ackler
just tried to get it up over Barr's hand, threw it up nice and high. The ball came down wet from the clouds, right through the net.
And now a few clouds and some snow in Albany this morning. Nickel Larson is going to credit.
See how plays like that, the basketball grows little feet, and the little feet come out of the ball, and they just kind of walk around the rim a little bit, and see it walking up there, and it falls in. That's nice. But he goes up strong, good concentration, and upper body strength shown by Nickel Larson as Walker Fennick picks up the foul. See, Larson's just too strong to Craig on the blocks.
16 points in the first half from Nickel Larson. He's the kind of player when his confidence is boosted by early play can be a huge factor. So So that there's one area Siena has to be concerned with is Larson continuing to produce points. He's on this kind of a run.
Well, they have struggled all season with low post defense, really defense in the paint. Don't have those overpowering big guys that can stop people.
Sekretarski shows up with Brick and the rebound with Larson. Tries to outlet. On the floor goes. And some more has.
Sekretarski has to make those shots. They're wide open looks at the basket. Normally, they're automatic for a guy like Sekretarski.
The 22nd timeout called by Iona. Nico Larson's led the way with 16. Micah Ogburn for Siena with 11. Jim Sekretarski, the sophomore outside sharpshooter, has had just one field goal, that being a three-pointer. We talked about trying to blueprint what Fairfield did against Iona on Monday to take a share of the MAAC championship. And as you look at these first 19 minutes plus, has that been pretty much what you've been seeing?
I think they're doing a nice job. I think Bob Byer right now has his team playing with some patience. And ironically, they're just not making outside shots. I think they're getting good looks at the basket. Not only are they not converting from the perimeter, but they're not converting on second chance opportunities. And Tim Welsh, his team might be catching a break because Siena just doesn't have the firepower to put in putbacks on offensive rebounds.
That's been the difference. Here's Tominskas, so a pull-up jumper, missed that one. Zamora got the rebound, 12-second chance points for Iona. So there's an area of difficulty for Siena, defensive rebounding, and now a turnover. Biggest lead of the game now for Iona, 36-29. Tim Welch, they'll try to get one off, final 5 seconds. Here's Greg Barr. And he hoops it home. Barnes drive at the buzzer has given Iona a 9-point lead.
That's the end of the first half.
Tim Welsh is irate at the end of the half here. He had to be restrained by one of the officials. And now Bob Byer is getting an explanation.
It was a 1-4 offense, and the middle was wide open for Barr to operate. Now, he thought he got bumped on the way up. Looked pretty clean to me. Just was a good shake move as Barr just shook Ogburn away.
Tim Welsh was complaining of something, although we can't tell if it was a clock violation. There was a 1.9 remaining. The time did run out, and we have reached our halftime. 38-29, the first quarterfinal of the MAAC championship. Our Marine Midland halftime activities coming up in just a moment from Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York.
The MAAC is back. Don't miss one of the nation's most exciting and surprising postseason tournaments as the Marine Midland Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Tournament returns to Albany's Knickerbocker Arena March the 1st through the 4th. Last year, Manhattan and St. Peter's both went to the big dance as the MAAC earned 2 NCAA berths. For the best seats in the house, don't delay. Tickets are available at the Knickerbocker Arena box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or buy a charge by phone at 518-476-1000. MAAC basketball is back March the 1st through the 4th. They'll win you over.
At halftime of the Marine Midland MAAC opening men's quarterfinals, it's the Siena Saints and the Iona Gales, and the Gales with a late surge take the lead here at halftime. I'm Barry Landers. I hope you enjoyed the first half of basketball. Iona really coming on with that late surge, and they picked up the pace at the end. Siena got some good outside shooting, stayed in the game for a while, but right now they trail by 8 points. Right now, let's go to my colleagues standing by, Mike Crispino and Glenn Concert.
Thanks very much, Barry, and a disappointing end to the half, really, for Siena. They had been in the game, had the lead in the last 5 minutes, and the final 5 points scored by Iona gives them a 9-point lead. Now, what do you think is happening emotionally in that Siena locker room right now?
I think Siena has to realize that they did a nice job the first half. I thought they had some nice looks at the basket. I thought the game plan was well executed by Bob Byers' team. Just kind of spread the court, used the Fairfield game as a blueprint, forced Iona to stay down on defense, and candidly, they stayed in this game by crashing the offensive boards, but they just couldn't execute and finish on those putbacks. I think right now Siena's going to have to start to make those outside shots, and you know, the reality is if they make maybe 2 or 3 more of those three-point shots, they're in this game.
Yeah, 35% shooting by Siena, so they made 11 of 31, and from three-point range, they were 50%, so maybe they ought to go back and start shooting behind the arc more frequently.
I think what was surprising was that they were able to establish their inside game. Guys like Walker, Fennig, and Walker did a nice job scoring on the blocks, but all of a sudden the outside game fell apart. And you know, to win tournament games, you got to go inside and outside. Defensively, I thought they did a nice job, except Iona, the last 5 minutes of the first half, really spread the defense out and forced Siena to get down, stay down in a defensive stance, and force them to play good basketball defensively. I think Greg Barr really took over the last play, just exemplified how you spread the floor and create openings in the middle.
All right, we'll be back with more halftime activities. Father William McConville, the president of Siena, will be joining Barry Landers. More to come from the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany. Stay with us. Back in Albany, the Siena Saints trailing by 9. Late run by Iona gave them the 9-point lead at 38-29. This game is brought to you in part by Pepsi-Cola. Nothing else is a Pepsi. Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. And New York Lotto. Play New York Lotto because twice a week someone could win millions of dollars. Hey, you never know. Now let's go to Barry Landers, who has a special halftime guest.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And indeed, I am joined by a very special guest, a dear friend, Reverend William McConville. He is the president, of course, of Siena College and retiring here at the university, and of course retiring also as MAAC president.
That's right. I'm finishing up my 7 years as president, and this is my 2nd year as president of the MAAC, and so at the end of the year I'll be giving up both these honors.
It's been a very good 2 years under your reign, of course, and we've seen the improvement in the athletic and academic scores as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has been true, the MAAC has received a lot of attention in the national media over the last couple of years for the quality of its, not only its athletic performance, but its academic performance. So we're at a conference that's really been able to balance both of those, I think, in an appropriate way. We're very proud of it.
And certainly in an era where, you know, you're seeing some institutions around the country not pay so much attention to those issues, it's really fitting the MAAC is.
That's right. Our graduation rates are terrific. And we, as a group of colleges, you know, we're adding Marist and Ryder to the MAAC. They're institutions that share the same values that we do. And we, as a group of presidents, have worked very closely together to ensure both the academic as well as the athletic quality of our institution. So it's a great conference, and Siena's really proud to be part of it.
I know, Reverend McConnell, that the fact that the tournament is played here, Siena's very much involved in the community and in the whole Albany area.
That's right. One thing is for sure, my fellow presidents don't think that we have a home court advantage here. We have yet to win the tournament here. We may do it this year. I'd love to see us, but it's been a great experience for Albany, and I'm certainly hoping to see the tournament kept here. It's a great venue, and it's a great event for the city of Albany.
Well, you certainly have a scrappy club. We saw them give Iona all they could handle until the last 5 minutes.
Right. I think Bob has done some great recruiting. We have some terrific freshmen coming along. He's done some terrific recruiting for next year. I think in a couple of years we're going to be a very strong competitive team again. But I tell you, these guys play their heart out. I'm really proud of them.
Reverend McConnell, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
We'll be back. Mike Crispino and Glenn Conter return in a moment. You're watching MAAC basketball.
Okay. Good.
Welcome to Loyola College in Maryland. Here at Loyola, we seek to educate the whole person, mind, body, and spirit.
Loyola believes in excellence, academic excellence and athletic excellence. At Loyola, it takes more than just being an athlete to make it.
I think the athletics makes you more focused on your academics.
And so here at Loyola, I find a good balance between athletics and academics.
I think I've learned a lot from playing lacrosse. You prioritize your work. You feel good about yourself.
I'm taking away from that the feeling that you can accomplish things.
Walking through campus, I mean, obviously parents are happy if they have one daughter or son here. People get to know you. Next year, a freshman comes in from the same family.
Students come to Loyola because they want the skills that will help them make a good living. We give them the skills that will help them to make a good life.
Back at the Knickerbocker Arena in snowy Albany, it's the MAAC men's quarterfinals, the opening game. The Siena Saints trail the Iona Gales 38-29. I'm Barry Landers. A late surge by the Iona Gales, giving them the lead. They're the #1 seed. They're the favorite, but Siena playing very tough. For more on the first half, let's check the stats and go to Glenn Consor and Mike Crispino.
Thanks very much, Barry. Of course, the #1 seed's supposed to beat the #8 seed. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Supposed to be, but you know, there's something always mystical and magical about tournaments, and that's why Siena came out in the first half playing such intense basketball. I thought they did a nice job, well executed game plan by Bob Byer. I think Iona really came out flat, but they picked it up the last 5 minutes of the first half.
And Mikkel Larson had a super first half. He led the way with 16 points. They also had the double-figure scoring from Greg Barr, who made the last bucket. There's the field goal percentages. They dropped off a little for Siena at 46% for the Gales of Iona. Three-point shooting, not one made by Iona, and the free throws, Iona went there much more often.
Siena only going to the line 2 points, and that's one of the things they're going to need to do is attack the basket with dribble penetration, which has been a flaw from Siena all season. Look at the rebounding, pretty close. Siena not a great rebounding team. Turnovers, Siena, most of those turnovers came in transition, and points in the paint. Obviously, Iona dominating in the paint with guys like Larson and Tominskis doing their job.
And Tominskis did not have a good first half. He shot just 1 for 6. He was just talking with Jeff Ruland about how to get a better shot off. We'll be back with more. We're getting set for the second half at the Knickerbocker Arena on the MAAC Television Network.
St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey, believes a student should develop as a whole person. We educate our students through a demanding curriculum informed by values. With more than 3,400 students born in 65 countries, St. Peter's is one of the most international and interesting colleges in the country. As a charter member of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, we are committed to excellence in athletics and integrity in academics. St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey.
First of our 4 quarterfinals here from the Knickerbocker Arena, the Marine Midland MAAC quarterfinals at the end of the rainbow, an NCAA championship bid. Look at the first half highlights. Siena played well, had a couple of leads during the first half, and they did it from the outside. The long three-pointer coming from Micah Ogburn there. He had 11 points.
Came off the bench and did a nice job. And Siena really executed by spreading them out. And you see Tominskis going baseline with his power game. And Iona's going to need to do more of that. Get the ball to Tominskis on the blocks. Also in transition, Siena did a nice job of pushing the ball up the floor. When they weren't turning it over, they were able to convert.
They had 10 turnovers, definitely. That was Harrell Godot with the finish. And Rod Zamora offensively in the paint. The rebounding of Iona really was the difference. They were able to capitalize a number of times for second chance buckets. And Greg Barr slicing through the defense to lay it up.
This is slowly becoming the Greg Barr show. He's starting to take over, Mike. And you can isolate a guy like Barr who's got excellent one-on-one moves. The key to Iona is to spread the floor to give him room. Every time Barr turned the ball over in the first half, he was dribbling in a crowd.
That time the Red Seas parted for Siena, and they looked around as a confused group. Greg Barr's three-point play has opened up a 12-point lead.
Siena again did a nice job of opening the floor. Brzezinski should have shot a pass to Quarterfinals. Not really ready for the catch. You got to go up, catch it, and dunk it on the blocks.
Tominskis with the rebound off the deflection. Iona can extend their biggest lead. It's 41-29. Mikkel Larson, big first half. It's hooked and count that one too.
See, when the ball goes into the blocks, the guard's got to go in, leave your man, and go help out. One defender cannot stop him alone. You got to just forget about it. Force the ball to go out. Force Iona to beat you from the perimeter. Look how no one's helping out. It's just one-on-one. You got to get someone to front Larson as well, and that's got to be the guards.
Bob Myers asked for a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout, and we'll take it with them. We'll be back to Albany, New York, the Marine Midland quarterfinals.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying the game. My name is Chris McGinnis, and from 1981 to 1985, I was a student at Fairfield and a member of the women's basketball team. I'm currently a real estate attorney in Manhattan. While at Fairfield, I had the opportunity to receive a top-notch education and to compete nationally on a Division I level. While life as a student-athlete was not easy, I found that both the faculty and the athletic department at Fairfield have a real appreciation for the challenges faced by a student-athlete. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all work and no play. I tried my best to take full advantage of the numerous social activities that Fairfield has to offer. Looking back, I'd have to say that Fairfield has contributed tremendously to any success I've had after college. Knowing what I know today, I'd choose Fairfield in a heartbeat, and I'd encourage any high school student faced with the same decision to do the same.
Siena coach Bob Myers seen a lead late in the first half turn into a 14-point deficit. Mike Crispino along with Glenn Consor. And Glenn, how did that happen?
My heart goes out to Bob Myers. I think his team is playing hard, but they just cannot stop the inside game. It's been a two-man show for Iona, and they're really starting to execute, getting him the ball on the blocks. 18 points. He's not only doing it on the blocks, but he's shooting jumpers as well. And then when he's not doing it, Iona's doing it with Greg Barr on penetration. So two guys very difficult for Bob Myers' team to stop.
Scramble. Siena recovers with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
So right now, Iona has to maintain their intensity on defense, and that's one of the ways to do it. Larson picks up another block.
Well, maybe too much of a challenge for the freshman Melvin Free out of Gainesville, as he was rejected by Michael Larson. Ill-advised and trying to take it into the teeth of a man who has 6 or 8 inches on him. Larson turning on jumper that time. He was a little strong with it. Siena trying to run the play. It's loose. Some more on the head to Brian Matthew, who's fatal at wrist.
Trying to shut down Matthew. His body wasn't square. So important to square your body, get a good look at the basket, shoulders square to the ring before you shoot.
Siena looking for their first points in the second half. 18 minutes remaining. Sekretarski, that fake. Shot on target, and Greg Barr unable to control it. So shots are coming more and more difficult right now for Siena. They're not the kind of team that can afford to take these shots under pressure and score.
Sekretarski takes a seat. See, he's got no rhythm to his jump shot, kind of forcing his shots. Tim Welsh doing a nice job getting a defensive player in his face, really taking Sekretarski out of this game, and Bob Myers searching for something from the outside. That something is going to try to be Ogburn.
Micah Ogburn had a big first half, 11 points, weak side rebound. Rebound is taken away by Brian Matthew.
Muzinski had it, and Matthew just stole it.
Iona's been asserting their physical superiority for the last 5 minutes or so, and trailed late in the first half. Now they lead by 14. Brian Matthew under pressure, and the help defense coming, but there'll be a whistle.
Matthew's got those great little pump fakes on the block. He has the ability, like a contortionist, to kind of go by you. His one fake, two fakes, goes up strong, goes to his left, throws it up with his right. A host of tricks and trades by Brian Matthew, who I think is the most underrated player in this league. This gives Iona a whole bunch of different dimensions on offense. He can shoot the ball from the outside. He can sit on the blocks and score on the blocks. An excellent defensive player. Might be one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Very quick to the glass.
Brian Matthew has them both. The junior from Antigua now has 4 points.
And by the way, would have been on the all-rookie team, but because he played in the junior college, that prohibits him from his eligibility to make the MAAC all-rookie team.
Good dish that time. And in the corner, able to make the three-pointer. Micah Hochberg. That's 4 for him on the game and 14 points. Greg Barr tries to penetrate, gives it off to Zamora. Siena tries to cut him off on the baseline, and there's going to be an elbowing call on Zamora.
Good defense by Siena, cutting off the baseline, and Zamora obviously not very pleased, nor is Tim Welsh at this call. Watch Zamora as he tries to take baseline. Uses his left hand, tries to take baseline, cut off, and the official called that an elbow on Zamora. I didn't see it. Did you?
I did not, but I never question officials' calls. They're always right as far as I know.
That's not true, Mike. That's not the Mike Crispino I know.
And now a stoppage in play as apparently the shot clock had not kicked in. And speaking of the shot clock, it's now 35 seconds. Of course, the men's game is 30 in the women's. I think they'd go to 30. What do you think?
I think it'll speed it up a little bit. Wouldn't hurt the league. I think college basketball, although I wonder if you look at it statistically, how many shots or when the first shot is taken, not in transition, just when you want to come down and set up an offense. I think it's usually after 10 seconds down the floor, guys are just kind of kicking it up. So I don't think it would hurt the game.
We're going to have a visit from the officials here. We're going to try to have a look from the truck at what happened on the shot clock, whether it started at 35 or not. It's set at 31 right now. They want to see a replay of the last possession, and we're unable to do that. We're unable to do it.
We don't have a replay, guys. We do not have a replay of that specific play, so we can't show it to you. We can't show it to you. The only thing we know is that there's 31 seconds on the clock. Sorry, guys. I'm totally involved in this game, Mike. I'm making calls.
You're negotiating,
coaching both teams. I'm carrying you.
See that? How can you do that? They must have a sore back by it. What they were wondering is if the shot clock had started on time and they were trying to reset to the correct time. Unfortunately, television cannot cure all ills. Mechanical difficulties do come up. And now Bob Byer is over to see if he can find out more.
And actually, it's now being reset to 20 seconds. So that was the issue. They thought that the clock had run down lower than the 31-second clock showed, and they did bring it down to 20 seconds.
So the 11 lost seconds now will be counted for here in Albany, New York. Lots of more steals. Going to take it all the way. They missed the layup.
Zamora thought he got bumped on that missed conversion in transition.
Feeney didn't take the shot, but Ogburn will.
He's getting good looks on Barr, waiting for those screens, and Barr's going to have to do a better job of anticipating where Ogburn is, because he's keeping him in this game now.
That's 5 threes for Micah Ogburn, the 6'4" freshman.
No question about it. Took the train like Amtrak.
Or the Metro North. that runs through New Rochelle. Good crowd on hand this afternoon, the first of 4 quarterfinals. Canisius and Loyola coming up next. Later tonight in Niagara, the 3 and 6 seeds. As you see, the three-point field goal shooting, it's been all Siena. And we wrap it up, Fairfield and St. Peter's. It's basketball madness. After all, it is March. That's what you should be doing. You should be sitting at home today, just about every day, watching college basketball.
Couldn't think of a better way to spend the day, Mike.
And you will. You will be spending the day and the night.
With you, especially.
Tomorrow night. I know I'm good company.
You are good company. Great to watch a game with Mike Crispino.
Going inside, beating up the rebound, and able to draw the foul. Melvin Freeney will go to the line. Siena did not visit there very often.
See, Freeney's one of the few guys on Siena's team that can create off the dribble. And it looked like a clean block from behind by Tomiskas, but he gets called for the foul. See, anytime you swing like that, Mike, when you're trying to block a shot, because of the different angles of the officials, it could look like a foul, even though it's all ball. You want to go up gently. You swing your arms and you swing down, you're going to get called for it.
A substitution for Bob Byers. Brandon Fields into the game. Taking a seat, Jeff Mazinski, who had 3 points. Here's Melvin Freeney, averaging 5.5, and he's short on both of his free throws. Siena went to the line just twice in the first half, and that was the first 2 visits by a Saint player in the second half. So they're now 2 for 4.
Big free throws by Freeney that he just missed. Would have brought this game down below 10.
Larson several fakes. The shot doesn't go in. It's kept alive, and Freeney has the rebound. Saints running. They got numbers, 3 on 2. And another rejection. This time, Greg Maher also got a piece of Brandon Fields.
Nice job by Siena going from defense to offense. So quick. Had numbers. Barr gets the foul with his body. Didn't go for the fake. Was laying down on Fields and just bumps him. Nicely executed play by Siena, although I thought Freeney should have pulled up and taken the shot from the foul line. Stop at the foul line, gain your composure, and shoot it.
Sounds like a point guard talking to me.
It's a point guard's play right there.
That's a tough play. I think that's one of the toughest decisions a point guard has to make. If he's going to pull up, it's not an easy shot. You're out on the run. You completely come to a stop and have to go straight up and make a solid shot. I think most point guards would just soon have someone run on those wings and finish it off with a flurry.
But that's one of the plays you have to make as a point guard. Make that right decision. Get the defense away. If you have that shot in the middle open, pretty easy to convert.
Under pressure. Some more. Beats the defense. Put a looper. Doesn't go in. Locked it up high on the defense. Didn't work. Here's Melvin Freeney. 8 is 9. Siena still hanging around. Freeney never lost it. And he does. But they get it back. Brandon Fields off balance. A prayer is answered.
Brandon Fields throwing up the Fields a dream shot. Fading back.
Throw it up. It just might come down in the right place.
Throw it up and they shall come.
Tim Wells
back, Mike.
Tim Wells realizes it is a home crowd in Albany. Siena's cut the lead to 7. 14:02 remaining. There's a full time on the court. We'll be back with more from the Knickerbocker Arena. This is the MAAC Television Network. Back at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York. The play of the game brought to you by New York Lottery. Here's a look at a wild scramble. Brandon Fields, I can get that shot off, coach. And he does. A wild celebration on the way back after he regained his balance.
How about pure determination making the play of the game by Brandon Fields. Just determined to make that shot.
We like to anoint these plays whenever we see something of high quality, and that certainly was one. Siena 7-0 run the last 3:17, and back in it, down by 7.
Siena put a little poltergeist on Iona, making the statement that they're back. Staying in this game. Ouch.
Victor Larson has the answer once again. He's got 20 points to lead all scorers. 84-85 and been the top seed in this tournament. Kennedy, of course, patrolling the sidelines and got more Fields this time into the teeth of the defense and rejected. It's their 8th 20-win season for the Gales, and previous 7 times they've gone on to postseason play, so it's a good omen when they win 20. Jeff Walker, fake, and going to be called. Let's see what it is. Jason Bell whistles. He didn't have anywhere to go, really, did he?
But really what set that play up was that Walker established position and Bell had no time to recover. Nothing to do but foul. Out of position. You got to beat players to the spot on out-of-bounds plays.
Jeff Walker has his first point of the second half. He's got 9 now. He had 8 in the first. 6 rebounds to go along with it. Walker completes the free throws. They're 4 of 6 in the second half. 6 of 8 on the game. And the Siena Saints are hanging in, down by 7.
Full pressure. If there's any weakness to Iona's team, it's their lack of the natural point guard that could run the show for Iona. And their show is right there. Bring the ball up against pressure, set your offense up, get the ball inside. Instead, they rush and committed a turnover.
Kaminsky's left his feet. His efforts at point guard going amiss that time.
You need that floor general, Mike.
Long off-balance shot taken down by Siena to get the rebound. Rainey, the ball kicked by Bauer. He's going to get an easy deuce on it. And that gets the Siena fans up. They thought he gained the advantage by booting it soccer style down the court.
I think it hit his leg. It's a good no call by the officials.
I don't know if I agree with you. I think that gave him an advantage.
I'm not too sure if it was an intentional kick, though. That's the issue.
Well, we'll have to call on NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman to get a ruling on whether you can actually kick the ball or puck intentionally or not. That's a big question in the NHL. Shown off by multi-sports nights, of course.
Here's the finish after the kick.
Greenbar's got 15. Rod Zamora will take a seat. Greg Dealer replaces him. It's Tim Welsh. He's serious now, Glenn. He's got the double-breasted unbuttoned.
He's fired up.
That's a sure sign.
When you unbutton the double-breasted coat.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Now, you know that inside button? I never know if you're supposed to button. Can you tell me that?
I think you're supposed to. It keeps the real neat looking.
You know what's difficult about that actually buttoning? I don't know if you've had trouble with yours.
Well,
many suits. Jeff Walker has both of them. I actually have a problem with that inside button.
You know, after tonight, when the last game is over, Mike, I'll spend some time with you and show you how to do it.
It's going to take more than a few minutes, you know. The long three-pointer goes down. That's Brian Matthew. The lead is back to double digits at 10. They go down low. Brandon Fields lost it for a moment. They'll try it again. Just under 12 minutes remaining. And Siena had cut the lead to 7 on a couple of occasions, but couldn't get it any closer. Now with 10 the shot clock. The kick at the Walker will shoot it from the outside. Doesn't go, keeping it alive nicely at time. Walker Fennick, and again they end up with Fields taking a shot. Walker Fennick again gets it. It's their third chance at the 35 seconds.
Great coaching by Timmy Wells, putting Matthew on Sekretarski, who's been just shut down. Here's the answer. Oh! He hurt me.
Going the wrong direction. Sekretarski now has 6.
Now Matthew got screened off, but he's been quiet up to that point, and boy, does Siena need the three-point shooting of Sekretarski.
It's tournament time. Blowouts really come, even in the first rounders. Kaminsky's strong. He missed it. Walker, they've got people bouncing in the head to Sekretarski. Missed the layup, but on the foul, Brandon Fields.
I'd get a timeout if I were Timmy Welsh right now. Just get a timeout, settle him down.
Instead, he's calling a play, 52-47.
Crowd's into it.
10 and a half to go. The Siena fans smelling the possibility. Great ball, strong move, and again the rebound. Siena.
Too predictable. They just isolated the ball. Everybody was there on help side D.
Sekretarski, his pass goes awry. Great hustle. Deaver comes up with it. On the scramble, gets it back to Minskus, who overthrew Mikko Larson. Right at the line. End-to-end action, and the big guy couldn't track it down.
Helter-skelter. Basketball, both teams rushing quite a bit. Speaking of helter-skelter, Sekretarski has that Charles Manson look. That hairdo.
You couldn't wait to use that, could you? Siena's possession. There's a spot on the floor. They're going to work it.
See, right now, Iona went to their mainstay, which has been Greg Barr on the isolation, but it was too predictable. And all of a sudden, Siena is back in it. And look at those second chance points. Second half, Iona has none.
And Siena has 9. So they're beating him to the punch now.
Starting to convert on putbacks. It's been the issue.
Confidence.
They've had their chances in the first half. Now they're making them.
Certainly growing for the Siena Saints.
Godot almost double dribble.
Behind the shot clock. They need to get it off. Walker pumps it. We're off the bank. Here's Deaver. Walker ran into it. Well, there's an example of not having the creative point guard to set somebody up. You talked about it as Bob Meyer now talks with his guard.
So right now, Godot is playing that point guard position. But the ball's got to be in Sekretarski's hands. I also feel that, and I'm a little surprised that Andy Tisch has not had more playing time. Another one of the guys, and personnel-wise, that can open this game up.
That time, Minskus found Deaver, but he missed the shot. The scramble. Gales have it again, so they'll try it again. 9-10 remaining and a 5-point Iona lead.
A little surprised not to see Andy Tisch on the floor more minutes.
Minskus, power move, lost it, got it back, and he banked it home. 7 for Minskus. Under 9 minutes remaining. Walker goes on him. Going to shoot it from way outside. Morel Godot, he's got 5. The lead is 4. And the crowd has really become a factor. Brian Matthew, nice up fake. In and goes in again.
Sweet pump fake, get the defense up in the air. As Siena staying in this game now with 3-point shots.
Bob Meyer wants a 20-second timeout. Iona answered when the lead was cut to 4 with the Brian Matthew play. 8:18 remaining here in the game. The Gales 56 and Siena 50. 3-point shooting, 8 of 17 by Siena. Just 1 3-pointer made so far by Iona.
And that's clearly been the difference. It's offensive rebounding and second chance putbacks. And now all of a sudden the late explosion by guys like Ogburn and Sekretarski making 3-point shots, and Godot off the bench able to stick it.
What's interesting is when you have both lines in an arena, offensive players, here's the numbers, will just toe it up to whatever line there is without really realizing whether it's a couple of feet away from normal. And that time it was an NBA 3.
Big difference. Difference of around 2 feet.
I think it's all the difference in the world. I think there's one change that the NCAA should look at in the upcoming years is maybe going to the international distance for 3-point shooting. I think this 3-point shot now is just a routine jump shot for most players at this level.
I totally agree, Mike. And by the way, the international line is somewhere in the middle of where the NBA line is now and where the college line is now. brings it back a bit. Just makes it a little harder.
Micah Ogburn goes to the line. He's leading the way with 17. Now he's got 18. 8:10 remaining. Mikkel Larson back in for Iona. It's a critical game for Iona. They certainly cannot afford to lose before the final if they hope to have postseason opportunities, whether it's NCAA or NIT. It's a 4-point game.
Trying to post up Tominskis on the blocks.
Pick and roll. Tominskis pulls up. Missed that shot. Rehab there, ice cold. Just 2 baskets from Mendonis Tominskis this afternoon.
Keep your eye on Sekretarski, who likes to run the baseline over screens for jumpers.
Matthew nearly stripped it. Here's Sekretarski. Goes long, and Deaver has the rebound. It went over the backboard, and it will be Iona's ball.
24 seconds remaining in the half.
We have a timeout on the court at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York. The MAAC quarterfinals on the MAAC television network when we return.
Iona trying to spread the floor. Matthew comes off the screen. Look at a little pump fake. The key was he stayed down when he faked. Defense went for it. Well executed offensive move by Brian Matthew.
Brian Matthew with the bucket has given Iona a 4-point lead. Bob Byers' team winners of 5 games, 21 losses, including 14 in a row. Really must have a feeling that something special could happen for them in the next 7 minutes and 24 seconds. They're due.
They're due, and we got a ball game, and Tim Welsh on the sideline saying, I don't want this due to be a don't for his Iona Gale team. Look at the offensive rebound. Siena dominating.
And 6 of those coming in the second half. 6-0. The offensive rebounding stat, to be exact, in the second half for Siena.
And that's surprising when you have a team that has Larson and Matthew and Zamora, very good offensive rebounders.
Greg Barr kicks it in the corner to Deaver. Didn't shoot it.
Deaver got to take that shot.
And Matthew off balance. Tough shot. Missed everything.
Columbia champ, folks. We have a basketball game on our hands.
It's a 4-point lead for Iona. 20 wins, 6 losses. Siena, 5 wins, 21 losses. 1-13 in the MAAC. The kick out goes. 10 on the shot clock. That shot rejected by Larson, and it's loose. It's going to be Iona's ball. So here and there, Siena runs into trouble getting off a decent shot.
They have struggled all season executing a half-court offense. See, what happens is one guy tries to operate, 4 guys stands around. You got to get some continuity in their offense, spread the floor. Look at Iona dominating on putbacks, block shots.
7 of them. Siena made even half of those. They don't lead. Tominskis running down to 6-10 on the baseline. He's had a tough afternoon. Finally, his 3rd basket. He has 9 points. He went 9 for 6 in the first half.
So they got to get guys moving on offense. One guy standing around, 2 guys stands around, just stagnates the offense.
And it's tough to shoot when you're stagnant. There may be some stamina now becoming a factor for Siena. They battled all afternoon with 5.5 remaining. They're down by 6.
See, that really hurts Siena when you have one guy just setting the screen. It's a quick hit or a quick play. You got to get 4 or 5 guys touching the basketball, Mike. Use the clock a little bit.
With the Larson shot on target, here's the run. Sekretarski pulls up and missed it. But running it down. Siena again. They'll shoot for 3. No, it's up the front rim. Kept alive. And it's going to be Iona's ball.
Brzezinski was not set for that shot. I don't think he was ready for the pass. I was surprised that he got it. Didn't get his legs into that jump shot. Didn't even bend his knees.
Is that fatigue as Bob Byers welcomes back a couple of his players to the bench? Could be.
Might be fatigue. He's working hard defending Brian Matthew, who's everywhere.
Simmons hard drive to the goal.
Iona just going to their mainstays on offense.
And they're not going to call this a shooting foul.
Simmons, it's got to be a shooting foul.
Unless they call it on the defensive man prior to Taminskas leaving his feet. That has to be the only explanation.
Put him up before the shot.
Taminskas, Zamora, Matthew, Nico Larson, and Greg Ball. Larson solid fakes on the baseline. The shot didn't go in. Rebound, Jeff Walker kept it alive nicely. Off the base, Siena has scored 29 points. Iona has yet to score. And Jeff Walker hits.
No bench contribution. Right. I'm sorry, no bench contribution from Iona. All of a sudden becoming a factor in this game. Guys like Terrence Rose got no run. Deaver hasn't scored. Jason Bell has not been a factor. It's just been the five you see on the floor right now for Iona, putting up points.
4 minutes remaining. Tim West goes to the top of the head call. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And Greg Ball on the three-pointer. Big shot for Iona. Jeff Walker way outside, playing point guard. Iona is able to get their hands on it and pick it off. So a big turnaround there, potential 5-point turnaround for the Gales. 3:20 remaining.
Siena's a team that was trying to get the ball on the blocks on offense, and they have been a team that has lived and died with that three-point shot. Kind of double-edged sword right now for them.
Greg Ball under pressure, and he's fouled by Nolan Quinn.
Ball just creates so much attention. He just goes straight up and gets hit by Free. Now, if you're Bob Byer right now, you have to think of ways to score. I think you got to do it with defense. If I'm Bob Byer, I try to surprise Iona, throw a little jump defense in, trap in the corners, maybe some three-quarter pressure, some full-court pressure. Not just to get turnovers, just to get the ball back and try to score. They're struggling executing a half-court offense right now. Siena 84% from the line. Impressive.
Greg Ball has had a solid second half. 9 for him, 19 overall. Not this time. Nelson kept it alive, battled it up there, but it didn't go. Jeff Walker and Siena trailing by 8 again. They cut it to 4. Shit! Missing the easy rebound. Walker fed it.
Indecisive. Do I use glass? Do I go straight? The answer was 0. Hit nothing.
Siena gets a foul. Now it's their 7th. Micah Ogburn has 1 on him. Siena has 2:44 left to upset the top-seeded Iona Gales and Tim Welch. They've certainly given them a game. Zamora has the first of 2, and this is where the team trailing has to rely on poor execution at the free throw line.
Absolutely. I think Bob Byer right now is trying to figure out ways to come down and execute. And again, I think you do it by generating opportunities with your defense. Try to get numbers up and down the floor.
points or more than that, both of them. The lead is back to double digits. We'll be back with more on the MAAC Television Network.
The MAAC is back. Don't miss one of the nation's most exciting and surprising postseason tournaments as the Marine Midland Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Tournament returns to Albany's Knickerbocker Arena March the 1st through the 4th. Last year, Manhattan and St. Peter's both went to the big dance as the MAAC earned 2 NCAA berths. For the best seats in the house, don't delay. Tickets are available at the Knickerbocker Arena box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or buy a charge by phone at 518-476-1000. MAAC basketball is back March the 1st through the 4th. They'll win you over.
The Iona Gales are holding off Siena 64-54. The Saints have gone cold, Glenn Consor, in the last few moments. The 7 of 26, 27% shooting. After cutting the lead to 4, they just couldn't seem to get the basket they needed to really be able to take the lead.
Well, without getting good looks, you can credit Iona by playing good perimeter pressure, taking away the easy looks that usually guys like Sekretarski and Osborne get. One of the things that they're doing is they're really pressuring the ball handler. Both of these teams don't have the stereotypical point guard, the floor general that can really run the show. And now trying to exploit that. You see 27% by Siena in the second half, and that's been the difference. Just can't really run an offense. Siena's struggling. And like I said, Mike, I think they have to try to do something to get some points on the board. And you got to try to do it with defense. And there's the 2 scores. One of the scoring leaders in your screen, Mike Ogburn, 18 points off the bench from Siena.
Siena's bench has made great contributions this afternoon. Mikkel Larson had 16 in the first half. They've held him to just 4 in the second half. So the Siena defense responding to his big first half has kept Larson from dominating this thing. Really kept him in the game. Long three-pointer. Rebounded by the Saints. They'll try it again.
Moving down by the 3. We're seeing it right now. Lack of an inside game, as you can see. Crippling Siena.
Try to run time off the clock. Javinskis handling. This is where his skill comes into play.
He's got an isolation ball. Larson wide open on the blocks.
Well, they lost it. Now he gets it back on the balance. Javinskis kept it alive. Got it back. And the putback for 2. He's got 11. 12-point lead. 1:44 remaining. The Saints have gone cold. That one goes in and out. And again, the rebound for Iona. Ryan Matthew has it. And Iona appears to be dodging a bullet here. Siena had them lined up in their sights. The lead had been cut to 4. They just couldn't get over the hump.
Number 20, Jim Sekretarski returns.
Searching for someone that could score. Sekretarski now inserted into the game. And all of a sudden, Siena not able to get baskets in transition. Just solely relying on their half-court game is really where they really ran into problems.
So if you were scouting or if you were recruiting for Siena, I know you do a lot of scouting with the Washington Bullets, what type of player does Bob Meyer need to find to get Siena back to where they're accustomed to in the league? Nice shot that time by Sekretarski.
One of the players that they need to recruit, Bob Meyer needs to get that big guy that can score on the blocks.
All right, more of that in a moment. We'll come back to Albany. 1:21 remaining in our first quarterfinal on the MAAC Television Network. Along with Glenn Consor, this is Mike Crispino from the Knickerbocker Arena. The crowd on hand this afternoon for the opening quarterfinal featuring the homestanding Siena Saints against the Gales of Iona, the regular season co-champions. Siena, of course, which had great success early 90s under Mike Dean, suffering their second disappointing year. And getting back quickly to what they've got to do to recruit. You mentioned a big man. It seems to me they need a slashing point guard type as well.
Well, Freeney has a lot of potential as that type of player. He's going to need to be able to score more points. He's excellent defensively and can really become that player for Bob Byers' team. But it's funny how when you think about Jalemus Bennerman and what he meant to this program, and I still think, believe it or not, we're 3 years after he has graduated, Bob Byers still feeling the effects of the loss of Jalemus Bennerman, who was really that do-it-all type point guard, Mike. You mentioned the slashing point guard. Well, Bennerman can do it all, and obviously any team in the MAAC conference or any conference in the country could use a player of that magnitude.
66-56, 15 remaining. We'll be talking with the winning coach, one of the star players of this game at the conclusion. And they'll run it down. It'll be a backcourt violation. Sekretarski leaving his feet. So for senior Pharrell Godot and others, members of Siena, it will be their final college game this afternoon. And having experienced that, so what is the emotion that a senior player feels in a moment like this in the final 55 seconds of what will probably be his playing career?
I think the reality is that if you feel that you have given it 100% and played hard, it doesn't hurt as much. And obviously, Siena in this situation was a tremendous underdog. You see Jeff Walker on the sidelines talking to Bob Byer. You know, my heart goes out to both of these fellas, only winning 5 games this season. Obviously, if it was up to them, they would have won quite a bit more. But Walker and Byer both have some good fortitude that they'll be back.
He's out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, a junior, one of their captains. David Edwards is the other captain, a senior from England, so experiencing his final game with Siena. He has just returned to replace Jeff Walker. So classy move by Bob Byers, sending the senior back in for the final seconds. As Tominskis has 2 chances, he makes the first. 7 for him in the second half, 12 points overall.
Mike, I'm still surprised that Andy Tisch did not get more playing time. He's one of the few guys that can put points on the board for Siena. In the doghouse.
Could be. We didn't hear anything specific about it. Sekretarski misses the shot, tries to run it down to Tominskis on the stolen. Freeney and kicks it back outside. 3-pointer missed. Tried again from the corner. This time it goes down. Freeney's first basket. An 8-point game, 35 seconds remaining. Stranger things have happened. Tominskis rolls it up, gets the foul call as Melvin Freeney has to give the foul. Coming up, Loyola and Canisius, the 4 and 5 seeds. Canisius with some troubles physically. Loyola playing well toward the end of the season, so that should be a good game. Then tonight, we have Manhattan and Niagara, and Fairfield against the defending Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference champions, tournament champions that is, St. Peter's. To me is a mystery team, but he's still a dangerous team.
Everybody back from last year's championship run. You see Timmy Welsh fired up. This was an ice-breaking game for Tim Welsh. I think this will give them some confidence now come tournament time. In the second round of this tournament. A lot of pressure, I think, on the Iona Gales this game. Playing against Siena up here, even though they only had 5 wins. So many people thought that Siena was due. And they,
including yourself.
Including myself.
Including me.
You know, they're the type of team with their outside shooters that can really break a game open, especially if they're on. Obviously, guys like Sekretarski, and we didn't see much of Tisch. Didn't really do it from the outside. That old expression, you live and die by the 3-point shot. Well, that was the nail in the coffin this game for Siena, who candidly did a nice job on the offensive boards. I thought defensively they did a nice job as well. Rebounding-wise, they stayed in this game. with Iona because of their ability to pound the glass. They just couldn't make the outside shot.
Ryan Matthews reached double figures at 10 now. Now he has 11. Always admired your candid coach. 69-59. Siena had been within 4 moments ago. Long shot. One of 8. Oh, slicing through. And the Saints are just going at it. It just won't go down for them. And finally, with 4 seconds remaining, Brandon Fields will send Mikkel Larson to the line. Iona will play the winner of Loyola Canisius. And the winners of the 2 games tonight will play tomorrow night.
So Brandon Fields is trying to pick up a foul. He's looking at the official. And Larson got a little frustrated, but there's a little love tap. Larson's a class act, and so is Fields.
Brian Walser will check in. He's another one of the seniors. We'll get a few seconds, a very few seconds on the court here. His final appearance as a member of Siena. Micah Opper, who was really much of the offense this afternoon, finishes with 19. So Mikkel Larson has 21. He had the big first half, enabled Iona to lead by 9. Terrence Rose, junior out of Florida, South Carolina, checks in. He'll replace some
happy players. I really think the weight of the world was on Iona this game. Not to get upset. Play well, great intensity, super defense in the second half, which has been the Iona Gales' mainstay all season, is with their defense.
And the final seconds have ticked off. The freshman Balzer will get a shot off, and he nearly made it. But that's the final. Iona, the #1 seed, survives a scare in the quarterfinals. They have defeated Siena 71-59. We'll talk with Tim Welsh in just a moment.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked 3rd in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
We're back courtside here in Albany at the Knickerbocker Arena with much relieved Tim Welsh of the Iona Gales, who was just saying these first-round games are going to age me, aren't they?
Absolutely. We're not used to getting to Sunday, especially with these guys. They've had a lot of struggles in the first round, and, you know, I'm just very, very happy to survive because, you know, a little bit of a home court advantage, and Siena's been playing better the last couple weeks, but it's the old Jimmy Valvano, survive and advance.
All right, you got the big guy, Mikkel Larson, right next to you. What got into him in the first half? He must have had a little pep talk with this big guy.
Hey, well, the guy's had a terrific career, and, you know, he really wants it. I want it for him and our seniors, and, you know, he came out with a lot of fire. He's not going to let us lose out there. He's going to lay it all on the court, and, hey, he's a heck of a player. I know the coaches in our league don't think he's much because they didn't put him on the first team, but he's a heck of a player, and I love him.
All right, so he's making his point, Tim Welsh. Let's get Mikkel Larson there on the first team for the MAAC. And quick question for you, big guy. 22 points. You had the 4 block shots. I thought defensively your team did a nice job of keeping Siena out of the paint. Was that part of your strategy?
Well, it was, but I got to say, they really played well tonight. They came in, they were ready to play. They were fired up. They had the home court advantage and everything, and they shut the lights out. So I got to give them a lot of credit.
Offensively this afternoon, I thought you showed some creativity that maybe we hadn't seen. You decided you're going to go outside, be a perimeter guy a little bit.
Well, I just decided that maybe it was time to step my game up a little bit. Been playing so-so the last couple of games, been a little frustrated, so I made up my mind that I was going to go at it today.
So the coach said, Mikkel, you've got more range than that, so get out there, you can do it.
Well, I've had that range all the time. I don't know.
Oh, we have some information here coming to light in the post-game report.
Anyone, yeah.
All right, so you have the winner of Loyola and Canisius. Any thoughts about that? I know coaches say, I don't care who we play as long as we play again.
Well, absolutely. Canisius buried us up in Buffalo a few weeks ago, and Loyola played us to a 4-point game last Saturday at our place. Two terrific teams. It's going to be a great battle. We're going to sit back and wait. I think that terrific players in Meeks on Canisius and Powell on Loyola. Those are the key guys. If you can slow them down, you have a chance to beat them. But it'll be an interesting ball game.
All right, congratulations to Tim Welsh. They'll be watching Loyola and Canisius along with you. That's coming up next from Albany in the Knickerbocker Arena. This is the MAAC Television Network.
Welcome to Loyola College in Maryland. Here at Loyola, we seek to educate the whole person, mind, body, and spirit.
Loyola believes in excellence, academic excellence and athletic excellence. At Loyola, it takes more than just being an athlete to make it.
I think the athletics makes you more focused on your academics.
And so here at Loyola, I find a good balance between athletics and academics.
I think I've learned a lot from playing lacrosse. You prioritize your work. You feel good about yourself.
I'm taking away from that the feeling that you can accomplish things.
Walking through campus, obviously parents are happy if they have one daughter or son here. People get to know you. Next year, a freshman comes in from the same family.
Students come to Loyola because they want the skills that will help them make a good living. We give them the skills that will help them to make a good life.
Mike Crispino and Glenn Kotzer are back here at courtside as Iona has advanced the #1 seed 71-59. We just talked with Mikkel Larson, but Greg Barr is the player of the game because his second half really had a lot to do with them holding off Siena this afternoon.
Well, Barr did a great job of squaring up on screens, also taking advantage of opportunities because Iona did a great job of spreading the floor and giving him room to operate an excellent one-on-one player.
So I guess timing is everything. Then if you do it in the second half, you become the Pepsi player of the game.
No question about it. But Barr played a terrific game. Not only was he shooting the ball well, but he passed well in transition as well.
All right, that's Glenn Kotzer. We'll be back, of course, all afternoon and night for more of this MAAC tournament. Let's go now to Barry Landers, who's standing by with TJ Nelligan of Host Communications.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Indeed, I'm standing by with a former play-by-play announcer himself in his early career, and, of course, the president of the East Region for Host Communications. Tell us how Host got involved with the MAAC, first of all.
Well, we sat down with the conference commissioner, Rich Enzer, and the presidents and athletic directors of the MAAC last year, and their objectives were twofold. One, to get the message of the academic excellence and athletic excellence of the conference out there to the general public for recruiting for the general student body in general, and also for the student athletes. And our plan was to get more exposure, to get this great message of athletics and academics out. And what we've done is put together an integrated marketing program which gives our sponsors the ability to reach the attractive demographics that this conference delivers, which would be the fans, the alumni, the students, the faculty of all the member institutions of the MAAC.
TJ, as you just mentioned, of course, the MAAC's sort of unique because of the smallness of the schools, yet the high academics and good athletics. And you're involved, of course, with hosts throughout the country within the NCAA. But as far as this conference, as you go around to advertisers, what's the feedback you get?
Well, the advertisers love the MAAC conference because it gives you a upscale demographic group with the fans, the alumni, but it also has a great balance of academics and athletics. And if you talk about the audience we deliver, this year there'll be over 3,800 college basketball games on television, syndicated regionally and nationally. And we've differentiated the MAAC by delivering tournament opportunities, promotional opportunities on campus to reach the fans, the alumni, the students, as well as the media here, where we have Marine Midland Bank benefiting from the tournament exposure, and Pepsi has generously stepped up to be the title sponsor of our MAAC Game of the Week package. But also we'd like to thank Madison Square Garden Network and Joe Townley, who gave us a great Game of the Week package all year, and Ron Bertovich, of course, from Empire Sports. So we're able to generate about 33 games nationally and regionally this year. First about 24 last year, and that's a great opportunity for the MAAC presidents and athletic directors to get their message out there to the community in general.
TJ, thanks for joining us. Continued success.
Pleasure. Good to be here.
We'll be back with more from the Knickerbocker Arena in just a moment.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked third in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
Coming up in moments, the Griffins of Canisius and the Greyhounds of Loyola. Barry Landers will be along with Glenn Consor for that one. The Marine Midland MAAC quarterfinals continue. And we're going to take a look back right now at what happened, how these teams actually got here. A look back at the 1995-96 MAAC season.
1994-95 will